Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can try.
Okay, okay. Just let me know, is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am. So if you allow, can I? If you allow, ma'am, can I start?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Wishing you a pleasant afternoon. I am Prashant Kumar Tiwari, and I will be your host for today's webinar. I like to extend my welcome to all you all present here on behalf of DIGISAKSHAM. Let me introduce to you the organization first. DIGISAKSHAM is an initiation of SHAMS group that has developed content over 300 courses in multiple languages, which range from 4 hours to 6 months in various sectors of IT, BSI, retail, entrepreneurship for all age group, from school children, youth, professional, and senior citizen. DigiSaksham has also conducted more than 100 webinars, 10 FDPs, workshops, 6 international conferences. DigiSaksham impact more than 15,000 plus lives through various webinar, conferences, workshops, seminar across the globe. Moving towards the topic of today's webinar, HR series and development. As we all know, employees are the greatest asset of the company, and therefore investing in their training and development is key to sustain the business growth and success. A report tells that 93% of employees will stay longer when the company invests in career development. Training and development helps the company gain and retain top talent, increase job satisfaction and morale, improve productivity, and earn profit. Additionally, business that have actively interested and dedicated 1% absenteeism rate and 17% productivity. To enlighten us all through this topic, we have Ms. Snopal Agrawal. We welcome you, ma'am, in this webinar. Ms. Snopal Agrawal is Assistant Professor in Business Management with experience of more than 2.5 years in academics and 6 months in organization. She has also conducted and participated many seminars, conferences, webinars at national and international level. Now, I would request all the participants to pay attention carefully. Please make sure that your mic is on mute. If you have any query or doubt related to ongoing webinar, please type them in chat box. We will be addressing them at the end of webinar. Now, I would welcome Ms. Snopal Agarwal. Let's proceed further to the webinar. Hand over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Prashant. A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope, Prashant, my voice is audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's completely audible.
So a very good afternoon to everyone present over here. Firstly, I would like to thank Prashant for welcoming me and introducing me to the audience. Also, I would like to extend my thanks to DIGISAKSHAM and Sense Welfare Foundation for inviting me on this platform to share my views on today's topic that has been defined by Prashant very well. Thank you so much, Prashant. So moving with, let's just set the presentation first so that I can let you know. Prashant, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So today we are going to cover the contents that are the concept of training and development, the needs of training, difference between training and development, and the process of training, and the last but not the least, the training methodology. So I hope the people, those who are attending this webinar, are known with this particular topic, though they might be having some concept regarding to this training and development. I hope you'll get clear with this topic throughout the presentation after I will finish it up. So firstly, let's move with what is training. Training constitutes a basic concept in human resource development. Basically, training is a part of a human resource management where training is also a short-term process which tends to develop the employees as the change takes place in the organizations, and due to certain changes in the technology, in the other factors which influences the business directly or indirectly, we need to train our employees with time so that they may be capable and upgraded with the technology and with the resources available with them, so that they can make the maximize utilization, and they must do their job correctly, effectively, and consciously. Moreover, it tends to impart the specific knowledge, specific job that a person requires to complete his task while he is performing a job or work. Moving with the next slide, we are having a definition by Dallas Beach.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Training. Yes, Varna.
Ma'am, slides are not moving.
Okay, let me reshare it. Okay. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Visible, ma'am.
Can you see the training slide?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Okay. So let's, I hope it's visible now.
Yes, ma'am. It's completely visible.
Okay.
You can proceed, ma'am.
Okay. So training is the organized procedure by which people learn knowledge and or skills for a definite purpose. To fulfill or to accomplish a specific task that has been delivered to a person, you need to get trained so that you can use the resources or the available material in an effective and efficient manner. Moving with the next one that we are having is development. It's just next level, next thing which goes hand in hand with training. So if the training is done correctly, then the development takes place. So development is a process which tends to have a long duration, or you can say it's a long-term process which tends to imbibe in your behavior whenever you perform the job. Whatever you have learned during your training sessions, that all goes with you. And after that, when you imbibe that into your working life, then it becomes your practice, right? So that the completely develops you in overall manner. So the term development refers broadly to nature and direction of change induced in employees, particularly managerial personals, through the process of training and educative process. Next, the definition of development indicates that it is future oriented. Basically, we tend to process with the development for the future development, future endeavors of the employees, so that employees can do better in the future in career, and they can create more job opportunities and more better options for themselves, as in they can also seek for promotions, internal promotions in their organizations, for upscaling their career and to get more salaries, more benefits, and a good job position, right? So with the next one, let's move. So the development is a systematic process of growth and development by which managers develop their abilities. It is concerned with improving the manager through his through overall development, and also provides him opportunity for the growth and personal development. Next, we are going to cover that is the need of training, why the urge of training comes out. So understanding the concept with training and development, I hope it's pretty much clear to everyone why there is need for training, right? As we tend to have change in our organization, as we have changes in the business environment and the factors affecting business, we need to train employees from time to time. As in the past decades, we have seen that people were using manual ways for accounting and for doing the working. But now, as the time passed, computers replaced those manual working, right? So people were tend to provide trainings for their betterment, for better efficiency, and for making those accounting in an easier manner, right? So training is a very essential part if we talk about in an organization. And not only training is not specifically for the HR domain, it is for everyone. But yes, the HR domain people usually organizes training for every department. So let's move with the first point that tends to increase the productivity level. As we tend to get training, the employees get trained, they tend to produce more better productivity, they tend to produce more output, and with the improved quality standards, it also helps the company to fulfill its future personnel needs. If there are further requirements of vacancies, and the company wants to hire someone, so they can prefer for internal recruitment if the personnel is already developed, if he is trained enough to tackle down the future positions and to tackle down the upcoming situations. Next one is to improve the organizational climate and culture. It tends to improve both the things simultaneously. Also, it helps us to improve the health and safety, as the person, those who are dealing with the specific jobs are pretty much clear that specifically their job is very endangered job, and they need to maintain certain precautions while performing their job activities. Plus, including that, they need to maintain the safety standards. While we are dealing with daily life routine in our organization, we need to maintain the safety standards also, like drinking water facilities must be there. There must be resting hours, proper sanitization must be there in the organization, ventilation facilities must be there, and such. Then next is your obsolescence prevention. It tends to create a situation where change is mandatory and the change takes place, and on the other hand you provide training to your employees, so it will not create a certain problem for the employees to face the problem of obsolescence in the organization. And lastly, we are having the personal growth. Training tends to provide you the personal growth on the aspect. If we are looking, every individual is being provided training, and with the help of that training they can develop their skills, knowledge, and their abilities, right? So there is a KSA model also, KSA analysis, we can say that KSA helps you out to grow personally, and everyone contributes to the organizational success as a whole. Moving with the next one, we are having the difference between training and development. So we have discussed the first point, that training is a short term, and whereas development is a long term process. Training focuses on the specific behavior and specific job actions. Whereas if we talk about development focuses on understanding and interpretation of the knowledge, right? Next one is that it tries to improve the specific skills, especially relating to the job, whatever skills we are having, right? So if we tend to do some specific job, that for that particular purpose we require training. For the technical expertise we require training. On the other hand, it tends to develop the personnel or develop the person in an overall manner. Next point is on the part of training. It is mostly imparted for non-managerial personals, whereas in the case of development, it is for managerial personals. Training is for the technical expertise, technical guidance, technical skill development, whereas development helps you to develop with your conceptual mind, your analytical skills, and other things. Next, we are going to cover that is training process. So training process is basically consists of the 5 steps, the 5 stages. The first one is the need assessment. Second one is setting the objectives. Third one is implementation and designing, implementation, and evaluation. So moving with the first step, the first and foremost step in the training process. So training is basically the need assessment, identifying the need, why we need to impart training to the employees, why there is a arousal of need assessment, why we want to provide training. So on that part, if we talk about training need assessment, is basically a KSA analysis, that is knowledge, skill, and abilities analysis. And this analysis helps you out to identify what knowledge, skill, or ability our employees are lacking, and through the help of feedbacks, observation, and other things, you can easily identify the need, exact need, what you need to impart, right? So with this, you also can go for the 3 analysis. That is, first one is your organizational analysis, that is based on the overall organizational aspect. We need to check out where is our organization lacking. For an example, if we talk about a shoemaking industry or some other manufacturing industry, so the company tends to look for better productivity levels and wants to develop in terms of quality by reducing their errors. So in that particular case, a company is seriously focusing on something which they are lacking behind, and they wants to increase their profit margins and the other aspects, right? On the next part, if we talk about, there is task analysis. The second one is task analysis. So task analysis, basically, it involves a set of activities which we want to improvise, right? So we need to check out different activities that are performing in an organization, what is going on in the organization, and we need to identify in which set of activities we need to provide training to the employees, so that those activities can be corrected down and the errors can be minimized. Third and the last analysis is the individual analysis. There are n number of employees, those are working in the organization, and in order to identify and to observe each one of them, we need to make individual analysis so that we can specifically identify that which individual is lacking behind or is not up to the mark, right? So for that purpose, we need to conduct three kinds of analysis. Then next one is your setting the objective. Before processing with the training, we need to set objectives. Where we are today, where we want to reach, the gap should be known to us, right? So we need to set specific objectives with our training process. Third one is designing. Designing involves deciding the location of the training, deciding who will be the resource person, who will be what will be the schedule of the training, and the other required material, and the things that need to be sorted well in advance before we process with the training implementation, right? The fourth step is implementation, where the design need to be implemented by the trainers, and the trainees will get the training for their specific jobs. And the last one is the evaluation process. That is the most important one. Whenever we conduct any training or any of the things like this, where we want to check whether we have filled up the gap or not, the evaluation is the most important thing, where we can test the participants, the trainees, and we can just check it out whether they have learned from that part of training or not, whether they are imbibing those new skills or knowledge or their abilities to their work life or not. Is that clear? I hope you are getting it. Next, we are having, that is training methodology, the last in our content list, the last topic. So this is a brief topic. You should understand it very well, right? So let's go into the difference between what is on the job and what is off the job. On the job methods are basically which involves while you are working, and including that you are getting training. At the spot you are working, you are getting training, right? And off the job methods are those methods in which you are not at the workplace. You are away from your workplace, and then in a specific environment, you are being trained for your actual life or actual working position. Okay. So this is the difference between on the job and off the job. So the second difference between on the job and off the job is the employee is placed into real life situation and shown jobs, way of performing. The same thing I told you, that people are actually working in the original positions, original work life, and at the simultaneously they are learning the part, right? So they are including this, that they are learning also, and they are doing the job also. And off the job methods involves that it tends to improve the general behavior and decision making skills of the executives, those who are working, those who are preparing themselves for the future job opportunities, or those who are already placed but they are still working on to get trained for the specific job that has to be taken place in the future. Third point is that is generally immediate superior provides support on in conduct of these programs, and while you are performing on the job, then the mentor or coach helps you out to deal with the daily routine tasks and the opportunities. So there are some of the examples regarding to on the job and off the job. Example on the part of on the jobs are coaching, job rotation, special assignments, and there are few more. Off-the-job methods involves lectures, conferences, seminars, case study method, simulation exercises, vestibule training method, knowledge-based and experiential methods. So moving with the types of on-the-job methods, the first and the foremost type of on-the-job method is that is coaching. So coaching is a method which provides you a coach. It tends to provide you a coach, and through this you get an on-job experience, and a manager can help you out to learn and to perform the specific jobs preferably used by the industrialist to develop their family members for securing key positions in the organizations concerned. Second one is your job rotation. The best example for job rotation can be the banking sector. Job rotation is also known as channel method, which tends to involve movement of manager from one job position to another, which doesn't mean that it is a transfer, but for a specific period of time they tend to learn and they tend to experience that particular domain or department, how they work, and to learn the interdependency of various jobs and departments on each other, right? Third one is mentoring. It's just like a mentor and a student, or a mentor or a new trainee in the organization, or a new employee in the organization. So it's something like wise counseling. A senior manager acts as a friend or a philosopher and guide to new recruiter and provide him support that later needs. Next is your job instruction. It involves the step by step instructions are being delivered to the new trainee or to the new recruitment, right? And then step by step the process goes on. So in this particular thing, it is also known as I told you, step by step process that involves listing all the necessary steps involved in the job performance with sequential arrangement of all steps. Next one is internship training. I hope you guys are pretty clear with this thing, the summer internship that you have in your curriculum as a part of your course. So that internship goes from 1 month to 6 months. That is up to you, through how many months you want to cover it up. Next is apprenticeship. It is an you can say internship is a short-term period, and apprenticeship is a long-term period. It involves 1 year, right? So apprenticeship is a one-time period, and it involves the methods of training in crafts, trades, technical areas, and is one of the best and the oldest method which is commonly used in developing the proficiency in a job, and is the result of relatively long period of training, right? So last but not the least, the seventh point, that is understudy. Understudy is somewhat similar to coaching method. So there is a slight difference, but you can consider it as same. Next, we are going to cover that is the classification of the job methods. So of the job methods do have three classifications. First one is simulation exercises. Second one is knowledge based, and the third one is experiential learning. Right. So simulation exercises is basically when we tend to set up an artificial environment. In that artificial environment, the same exact situation and the same scenario is being created in the off-the-job setting, and you are being learned with that artificial environment. You are made learn in that particular environment. So this is the thing, like for example, if we take pilot training or cabin crew training, these all training takes place in the same manner with the simulation exercises. An artificial environment is being created. If you go for car driving also, today we have a computerized system where you learn about the gears and all the other systems, and then you are being placed at the real life position. then you must be pretty much clear that how to handle the things, how to tackle them down. So that will create an experience for you well in advance. So knowledge based is like one way or two way method where you get to know regarding to the concepts like I'm delivering you right over here. So it's a knowledge based concept. Then experiential method and learning, that is a part where we are talking about the laboratory, or you can say trial and error processes. So let's jump into detail with the all of these methods. Firstly, we are going to cover the knowledge-based methods. So knowledge-based methods involve lectures. The first one is lectures. A lecture is a one-way traffic or a one-way process of communication, and it is trainer-centered only, trainer-centered activity, as there is only one-way communication. And moreover, it transmits the concept. It helps you to learn regarding to the theories, attitudes, problem solving abilities are being taught, and a large group can be trained at the same time with the with minimum cost and with a short span of time. Second one is conference. Learning is facilitated by building up on ideas contributed by the conferees. And in this method, it is the most participative method for doing the conference and for the purpose of development also. And we can discuss in this particular scenario, we can discuss some point which are common of our interest. So we can have a group discussion. We do have a conference method in which we can discuss on the same point of concern or on the same point. Next one is programmed learning. So programmed learning is basically material is in a kind of textbook or teaching machine or a computer system which is already programmed, and you have to just enroll it like you do for a short-term courses and other things. So it is research-based system which helps learner to work successfully and to have experience. Then last one is your seminars. As we are doing right now, we are going with the webinars in the physical form. If we talk about, that is a part of seminar. Right, so that is also a one-way process or two-way process. That can be interactive session also, where participants can also interact with the speaker and they can ask questions and queries to them. Next, we are having that is simulation exercises. I hope the basic is clear regarding to what simulation is all about. So we'll directly jump with the types of simulation exercises. The first one is management games. Basically, management games helps you to build the team spirit, team building activities, will let you know regarding to leadership qualities and other things. Also, it is an educational tool for teaching business. Business games may be carried out for various business trainings, and such as general management for the finance department, organization behavior, human resource, and others. Next, we are having the case study method. It tends to enhance your analytical and the critical thinking of an employee, as you get some case studies based on the real life experiences or some virtual case studies, and then you go through the case study, you just go a deep study into it, then you analyze the case and then you pose your solutions, what can be the possible solution for certain problem. Right. So the trainee is given an opportunity to analyze the case and come out with the possible solutions which are suitable according to him. Next, we are having that is role play. So role play is a method in which we can see a problem situation is simulated, asking the employees to assume a particular role in a particular person in that particular situation. The whole play will be recorded and trainees get the opportunity to examine their own performance. So basically, there is in role-playing experience and demonstration that gaps between what thinking and doing basically represents. Right. Then next we are having the in-basket exercises. In-basket exercises is basically just understand with the things that there are two baskets. One is in basket and one is out basket. If we talk about like during the test of a trainee or of an employee, what we used to do in this particular method, we used to in basket all the activities, multiple tasks which he has to perform during a shorter span of time or during a specified period of time, right? And those multiple tasks have to be completed within that particular time period. So it depends upon employee how he manages or how he prioritizes work, and then he tends to complete it. And after that completion of that work, after completing all those activities, he tend to put all those things in the out basket, right? So out basket and in basket, these two things are very relevant to this particular thing. So it is a valuable tool for decision making and student experiences working in specific office situations. Then it is for a limited time period, as we have discussed, as the employee solves the problem and they transfer them into out basket. In exercises, in basket exercises are often a part of assessment centers also. Last is vestibule training. Vestibule training is used for industrial training purposes and is also a good example of business simulation. New workers are being trained in a specific time period with a specific job, and many people can be trained at the same time. Also, it helps in the expansion of business and business activities. Also, the specific jobs on special machines, equipments, and in a separate location. And later, they continue to learn when they are actually placed on their jobs. So it is like somewhat we used to train the employees on in an artificial place where they are being made to learn the things, and then they practically imbibe it in their working. The last method, that was the experiential method. Experiential method is basically which helps to individual to understand one and others, and this is done through two methods: sensitivity training and transactional analysis. So the first one we are going to cover is sensitivity training. Sensitivity training is also known as T group training or laboratory training, where we can see that many of the people carry experiments on themselves. Firstly, we need to sensitize about ourselves. We need to learn and we need to understand about our own self. And then we need to establish relationship with the others within our group, within our organization, in order to develop the interpersonal relationships, right? And this will help and provide the trainee insight about his own behavior and of others' behaviors too in an organization. Next is transactional analysis. Transactional analysis is a concept which has been derived by Eric Berne and was popularized by Thomas Harris of USA. This concept basically consists of 5 to 6 things, that is life position, life scripts, then your ego states, your transactions, strokes, and Johari window. So it is a wider concept. If we try to cover this particular section, it will take a lot of time. So this is also a very important aspect to understand human relation and interaction. And moreover, it promotes the rationality and mutual mature behavior in an organization. So the ego state I was talking about, it involves 3 stages, that is adult, child, and parent. So that talks about, and further we move with the transactions. Second last, we are going to have, there are 2 more methods, including this 3 methods. That fourth one is incident method. Incident method are based on actual situations or actual incidents that has taken place in the real life, and certain people or the employees are being given the certain situation and they are asked to make certain decisions. Later on, what we do is we let them sit in a group and discuss the incident and then pose a exact decision what should be the right option for that situation. Last is syndicate method. Syndicate method is a participative method which basically consists of dividing a large group of people into small groups and then asking them to discuss, exercise, and work upon their projects or their jobs. Okay, so basically syndicate word means a large group of people, right? So from that only it has been derived. So this was all from my side. I hope if anyone is having queries, so we can go with that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now
Thank
we
you
will
so
move.
much.
Now we will move on to ask the question segment. Participant, if you have any question, you can type in the chat box. I will be reading them for you.
Okay, we are
Ma'am,
having
there
a
is a
question from Kushi Gusai. Which is
yeah.
better, unpaid internship or paid internship? Actually, Kushi, most of the companies, those who are a brand or they are the top-notch companies, they tends to prefer paid or unpaid. That depends upon their policies. But a few of them, mostly, and in the government sector also, we can see that companies do not provide paid internships to the candidates, those who are freshers and those who are the pursuing personals, right? So in that particular case, you can opt for the better option what you are having and which provides you exact what you want according to your domain and according to your interest.
Ma'am, there is another question from Rovina. What is
Okay.
the role of training and development in HR?
See, training and development, actually, the HR plays a vital role in managing all these aspects, right? Though it is specifically domain concerned, where if we want to impart training in the financial personals or if we want to impart training with marketing personals, but the management of all these activities is done only by the human resource only, right? So human resource is the only personnel who is responsible for managing all these activities in the organization, for conducting the training, for evaluating the training, and for making the gaps to be filled in future also. I hope it's clear, Rovina.
Yes, ma'am. I think it's clear from
We
Rovina's
do
question.
we do have another question also. What do you think is your disadvantage that we are having our on the job training just online and not on site? Yes, of course, there are many disadvantages because you are not getting the exposure with the physical location, with the physical meetings, right? What exposure, because there is a vast difference between being physically present and being virtually present. So, yes, of course, due to COVID, you guys are all already facing such a huge loss that is on your part. Any other queries?
Guys, if you have any other query, you
I
can write
hope
in chat box.
Esma is clear with what I have said.
Ma'am, I
I,
think
I
they
think
don't.
there is one more question. Do you consider training is the foundation of productivity of an employee? Yes, if you do not provide exact training regarding to the specific job to the employee, then he might be not able to do the job properly, and he might also waste the resources available with the organization also. So it is very important if the personnel is not trained enough or he is not qualified enough, or if the technology is new to him, then you need to provide training to him at least so that he will be he will be knowing exactly how to deal with the machinery and how to process it out, right? So for the quality standard and for the productivity level, productivity output, we need to provide training to the employees.
And there is another question. How can we manage or enhance our interpersonal communication in field of, especially in a large number of people? There is any tips to overcome or fear in speaking publicly?
Yes, Marcelo, you can do practice in group of people. Try to speak up in class. Try to present yourself. Do go with the presentations if you have the opportunity to present it out, and try to go with the if you want to initially practice it out, then you can face a mirror and you can speak it up, right? If you are going with a good flow, then you are much pretty confident. Once you need to step out from this zone, then everything will be all right for you. There will be no problems. Once you will get into the flow, everything will be okay.
Ma'am, there is another question.
Yes.
I think from Tiny side, that how can human resource know when employee need training or development?
For that, evaluation is very important. I guess we didn't have covered the Kirkpatrick model. Kirkpatrick model also helps you to evaluate the after performance, the results of the training. But we need to impart training by assessing the need, as we have learned in the training process. So we need to prepare some questionnaires. We need to consult the employees. We need to observe them so that we can get to know where the problem is coming across and why he is not performing up to the mark, right? So with the level output level or with the efficiency, we can check it out whether the person is not whether the person is performing well in his job or not, right? As per as per his squad, the teammates, he is not performing well, so we can just evaluate that.
Ma'am, there is another question from my side, that how important is HR training and development to graduating a student?
This question is by whom?
My side.
Okay, just can you pardon the question?
How important is HR training and development to the graduating student? Means graduate student.
Okay, to the graduate students.
Yes,
See, on the part, if you are just a fresher, and I guess you are talking when you are entering into our organization, right? Or you are talking regarding to the training part, that is summer internship. Prashant?
Sorry, ma'am. Ma'am,
Can you make me clear? You are talking regarding to job, or you are talking regarding to the summer internship?
Ma'am, he's asking that training of graduate. Graduate
Okay.
means you are going for a
Graduating
job.
students.
Yes, ma'am. You are taking
So
training in
see,
any field.
training is a very important part, as of you are also having training in your curriculum, right? So whatever you are learning in the course, right, that is a theoretical aspect, right? And what we are teaching you over in the colleges and in the schools, that is only on the based on the theoretical aspects, but to learn it on the practical exposure with the practical exposure is something different, which will tend to imbibe with the actual situations, real life based situations, and then you can imbibe all those learnings what you have learned in your classroom. So it is very important for every personnel to have training. As you are a graduating personnel, as you are emerging into a new job, you need to get training if you are new to the things, and if you do not know much about the routine day life, right? What working and how the working will take place.
And there is another question, that
Yes.
what are the key issue in training and development?
Right. If you have not assessed the need of the training rightly, then there will be issues, because if you have not assessed the need rightly, then you will be imparting the wrong training to the people, right? And that wrong training won't resolve the issue. Getting my point? I hope, because actually the thing is, when you put something wrong at the wrong place, right, it will not create output for you, right? So you need to assess the need rightly in order to provide right purpose.
Ma'am, yes, there is a question, that what is the impact of training? What is the impact of training on job? Like we can say that when we get the training, we are working anywhere, we are so much fluent on our job because we get the training. He's asking that how.
Prashant, can you tell me who has asked this question so that I can check in the chat box?
Ma'am, Miss Vandana.
Miss Vanna.
It's question from Sam's group, that
Okay.
what is an impact
How?
of job on
What is the impact of on the job training? See, On the job training is a process where you learn simultaneously, right? You do the job also and you learn with training part also. So that is a positive impact, that can create a positive impact as you get some mentor or coach who is directly mentoring you, who is directly teaching you and letting you know what you have to do and how you have to process it out, right? So that is a step by step, or you can say if at every step or every point of phase you are getting some knowledge or you are getting some guidance from the people, those who are superior to you or who is mentor to you, right? So that can help you out throughout the process with dealing with the situations, helping you out not to panic out in the situations and with the things that are going on hand in hand.
Ma'am, there is another question from Angum Anjal. She asked about what do you think is the most maximum number of year retention of an employee to be retained again?
Most maximum number of years retention of an employee to be retained again. Uh, can you modulate the question? I'm not getting it rightly. Agum Angel. See, if you are asking regarding to retraining the employee, that there is no fixed number of years or something like that. If there is certain change in the environment, you need to impart training again, right? There is no specific time period set framed for imparting the training to the employees that after 1 year only you will be getting training. No. If there are certain changes, if there is change in technology, if there is change in the policies, working behavior, definitely you need to impart training right away.
Ma'am, there is another question from
Yes,
Vandana
tell me.
ma'am side. Would you say that those who are trained physically are more competitive than those who are trained virtually or vice versa, especially with technological trends in human resource management?
See, that also depends upon the skills, but that rightly it is depending upon the skills, that how a person is, right? If he is competent enough to deal virtually also, then definitely he can go with the physical things also. But there is slight difference in the confidence level when you meet physically to someone, when you visit somewhere, then that presentation takes place, right? You get to learn something more apart from your curriculum also. You come across to the people, you come across to a meetings where you need to learn how to sit, how to behave. Then there are certainly other things, the gestures, postures need to be corrected where you are sitting together, when you are talking together. So that is apart from something of your curriculum, right? So physical training is always a plus point. I see that it is always a plus thing that adds on to you, to your personality, and that develops you overall. I hope, Vanda, it's clear to you.
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
Do we have any more questions?
No, ma'am. I think we are end up with it.
So can we end it?
Yes, ma'am. So
If
with
anyone
this,
is having further queries, then they can contact me through the emails, right?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So with this, we come towards the end of the webinar. I would like to thank our speaker, Ms. Snopa Agarwal, for her precious time and share your knowledge with us on this fruitful topic. It was truly informative session in need, and also thanks to our lovely audience who made this presence today. Now, a feedback link will be provided in chat box, and I would request you all to provide your valuable feedback within 24 hours. You will receive. Now, do follow us on social media handles. Link will be provided in chat box. Do tag us with your receive e-certificate with hashtag DIGISAKSHAM. Also requesting you all to switch on your camera so that we can take a picture. With this, we conclude this webinar.
Thank you so much, Prashant, for wonderfully conducting the webinar, sorry.
So everyone, please switch on your camera. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone for being a nice audience to me. Thank you so very much.